In the Search Console, within the next month, the reach went up from 1,000 to 130,000 monthly. In 2026, Tesla is going to mass produce robots where they don't even need a human to explain the job. If you're living healthy today, life expectancy should be around 150 years. It used to take 20 hours to create one high-quality content piece. With ChatGPT, you can do the same in 4 hours, and with our system in 1 minute.
Welcome back to another episode of Inspired by Success. I'm your host, Linda Vo, and today we're diving into the fascinating world of AI with someone who's not just riding the tech wave, he's helping shape it. Known as Fehr for his drive for efficiency, our guest has been leading in AI since 2019, long before it became a buzzword. He's the mastermind behind ModernIQs, an AI app store that's revolutionizing how businesses operate, offering one-click solutions that can turn months of work into mere seconds. But that's just scratching the surface. Who is this efficiency-obsessed innovator? Let's welcome Steve Fahr to the show.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So, Stefan, let's kick things off with a bit of time travel. Let's go back to 2019. What was the light bulb moment that made you think, yep, AI is where it's at?
2019, I started using AI apps. I was deeply involved with software as a service technology. That's like the first time I got in contact with it. The moment where I realized I need to create my own was around 2 years ago. I had my old project, appcolumbus.com. That's an affiliate platform for software as a service tools. There was this day, so I created blog articles for different tools that I'm using every day. When you have Google Search Console installed, you can see how much traffic you're getting from Google. And I had a reach of 1,000 a month. So 1,000 people saw my website somewhere on Google. So one day I decided, let's create a description, so a longer piece of text, right? A description section for every tool, and then a section for the features, and then a section for summary. And so I was creating this for every tool in one day, and I put all the pages on, which was like something like 300 pages of text. And you could see in the Search Console within the next month, or maybe 2 months, so the reach went up from 1,000 to 130,000 monthly.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, 130,000 for, 69 articles. That's way more than, all my social media activity was combined. And so I was doing some research and I found out about healthline.com and how they get 200 million monthly website visitors only by creating super high quality blog articles. That's like this considerable size of the global population.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And I saw the results on my own side, and I was like, I need a tool. This year, I could have made like a couple of 100 articles because I needed 4 hours to create one. And if I have a better tool, I can make 50,000 next year. So always, looking for tools, one-click blog article generators. And there have been some companies that, promised we're working on it. And then eventually 6 months later, one had something ready and it still took like 30 minutes to create an article. And so that's where I decided, right, I want a tool where, enter the headline and the tool does everything.
Wow.
Images, uploading to WordPress, plagiarism checks, everything. That's when we started our own, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now let's go back, because I know that AI can create articles and blogs and a lot of things. It's a game changer for businesses, and I love it as a tool, and it saves a lot of time. But with your tool, you know how there's Google SEO has made some changes as well with AI written articles as well. Does your tool impact that? And how does that overcome the Google algorithm changes? And tell me a little bit more about this tool, because I'm fascinated to know. So basically it does all this and it generates a lot of traffic with one click of a button and creates articles for you as well, right? Is that what it does?
Yeah. So the thing with Google is it's actually quite interesting, because what Google gets rid of is when you just, go into ChatGPT and tell the system, create me an article on, this topic. So what ChatGPT does then is creates the text. It's not creating a table of contents. It's not creating a headline. Now my headline structures, it's already doing quite a bit. But a good article. So Google determines quality in hundreds of factors. right? So what we did is we automated quite a fair bit of those already. Let's just take an example like alternative image texts, right? So every blog article you put on your website, depending on the length, should have a couple of images inside, not just one. If the image doesn't have an alternative image text, which describes what is on the picture so that blind people can understand, then Google determines this as lower quality. And if you have it, then Google determines this as higher quality. So this is one tiny factor out of hundreds that Google takes into consideration when looking at, is this content piece high quality? So since we have automated a lot of them, this is what separates us from having just some text.
Does it also create images as well? You mentioned, does it generate images as well?
So what you do is when you go on moderniqs.com, you enter the headline and then you press create, and the system creates the whole article, including images and lots of things. And it even uploads it to your website. And so it's in draft, then you just need to go on your website and check it. And I mean, you could theoretically decide to publish it automatically as well, which I wouldn't recommend. You still need to do some fact checking, but the images are positioned left, right. Everything looks really nice, ready for mobile as well and everything. So there's like no work you still need to do manually.
It's a game changer. I do agree with you with checking articles, because AI can just generate copy and be a copywriter, can do so many things. But when you're reading articles, I can straight away tell which one's written by AI. So you got to make sure that you tweak it and read it in your tone of voice as well, because sometimes it just sounds very generic and very AI and non-human. So does your platform ModernIQ do that? Because I use Claude. I think Claude is better than ChatGPT. So do you think, is it a combination of both of those platforms?
The human sounding tone of voice kind of thing we implement in several stages. So for you as a podcast host, this is quite interesting because you could take the transcript of your episode. So we're doing tests with this and it's actually really impressive. So what you do is you get the transcript from your podcast episode.
Yeah.
From some service, there's like, I don't know, hundreds. And then you put it into ChatGPT and tell the system, please create me some 5 headlines for this podcast transcript. Then you take the headline, paste it into ModernIQs. And then you have another field with background information where you tell the system, this is a transcript of a podcast episode between podcast host X and guest name, right? And then please reference the transcript on multiple points inside the article. Then you just paste the transcript in and you press create. And what comes out is the AI is taking extremely rich background information to create articles that are very high quality and very expert. Like, I mean, it takes it from the transcript, right? So it's like expert opinion on several topics. And yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Powerful. I love it, how game-changing AI is as well. So let's take it back. Starting a business can be a wild ride, especially when you're flying blind. What was the most challenging moment you faced with ModernIQs, and how did you stay on track when things got really tough?
I guess having bad software providers is still some big issue, or we can overcome it now. But that sometimes took months away or maybe more of the progress. But really the tough game is people think that they can do the same with ChatGPT. And they don't really understand that if you want to create an article with like all the things we were doing automatically, it takes like 4 hours. That's still the biggest thing because they see the text. And when they look at the article, they think we implement the pictures manually and everything, but that's all done in one click.
It's amazing. And then the fact that you can generate so much traffic to the website based on all these articles. Are there any other hacks that you can share to be able to get more traffic to your site?
We have some techniques running, which I can't share. They are increasing everything, which is not directly related to the article. So the thing is, when you have a website and you don't have blog articles on your website, this is like a supermarket without products. People can walk in, but they can't, there's nothing to buy or see there. So it's like, for example, let's say you have an Asian kitchen in Amsterdam, right? If somebody's searching for chicken teriyaki and you're the only Asian restaurant that has a blog article about chicken teriyaki, then your chances to rank are extremely high because nobody else has the content, right? So you can translate this basically to any business. So let's say you have a cocktail bar, right? There's like all the cocktails on your menu, which you could put on your website. And by the way, this is the thing with that human sound and so on. I think it has its limits. Like when you have a dish, for example, or a cocktail recipe or something, it's not really that necessary. It's more like, do you have the content or not? Right. And then the thing is, the more content you have on your website, so not every article is going to rank. This is impossible. The more articles you have on your website, mathematically, the higher the chances are that you have some inside that are ranking. But also, if you cover your topic well, like if you have a lot of content around your topic on your website, Google is going to rank the whole thing higher. That's why we have this free one article for free per month thing, where website owners can go on moderniqs.com, create an account and create one free article per month so that Google at least sees when you blog once a month, then Google sees that there's something happening with your website, right? With your company. And then it gives you a little bit more traction. That's what we're doing there. So that's why we have this one free article per month. And, in the future, we're trying to get this up to maybe 10. But that's like, I mean, currently it's impossible because there's like a lot of cost involved with creating high quality articles. Once we get the cost down for startups and small businesses and so on, we'll have something going. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to definitely look into that Modern IQ to find an article and see how well it writes as well. And I like the fact that you said it's plagiarism free too, because I think Google knows what's copyright. Like it can detect all these things. So if it could still rank despite all the detection, that's great. I'm definitely keen to explore that.
There is some talk around, is Google actually penalizing? And the thing is, it's kind of hard to detect because detecting AI text is quite expensive. Nobody really knows for sure if Google is penalizing it really. Maybe it's just that, people think that it's penalizing because the quality is not high enough of their content. I don't know. But in reality, checking for AI content is quite expensive for every article. So
if you could hop in a time machine and give your younger entrepreneurial self some advice, what would that be?
The AI field is extremely tough. It's extremely fast moving. Like I used to always be the guy who is like way ahead of everyone else because of fast development and, doing things in a way that I can develop fast. The AI field is not manageable fast. So
It's too fast.
I think it's too. Oh yeah, it's like, I mean, OpenAI is having a speed there. Sam is really doing a good job on that front. It's kind of tough to keep up with all of that. To be honest, I don't know. Like I was stacking efficiency on efficiency, factor on factor on factor, and that's been going on since 5 years. So
how did you spot these trends though so early? How do you find those opportunities? Because you got in early, 2019, way before AI became so popular and big and advanced. But how did you spot that trend so soon? And do you continue to look out for new opportunities?
That's method. This is something I can share and I'd advise everyone to do. Is you asked me before the show, what is that camera? That's a professional camera you're looking in. Why do I have this? Look easy, because it looks 30% better than a webcam. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for factors. And then I'm thinking, okay, my image can be 30% better. The mic, 50% better audio. How much does it cost me? How long is it to realize? Should I do it? Yes, no, and go. That's what I'm doing since 5 years. That's why people tell us, it's kind of an us now. I have some like 1.5 people working for me, but really like the company we built, usually you would have 50 people. And if you look out for factors, where to improve, what to improve, how can I do this with software, you can create businesses. And that's going to be the future anyways with AI. Something like an HR department in a new startup, this is not going to be existing. If you have an HR department in a new startup, somebody will beat you on price because they just have an AI running.
Yeah. AI running HR department?
Sure. Everything. Sales, like everything.
Wow, that's fascinating. You built your company with just 1.5 people on a team. That's definitely efficient. You would have thought it
Yeah.
would have taken a lot of people to shape a big project like that. So that's crazy. You just using tools and automation. What are some of the tools that you rely on to help you be so efficient?
See this? That's a some gaming mouse. I have this since 5 years. All the buttons are programmed in, like, now. And people, when I show this to people, they think I'm crazy because they think it's like hard to learn it. And so, like, most, this gets me 40% faster once I determine what is it actually what I'm doing on the computer that needs to be fast. And this is going on websites, logging into websites, working on websites, and the Mac is 200% faster than my last PC was. The new Mac M chips, and that's where they're really fast and good in. That's a factor of improvement, right? So I'm looking for those. With software, for example, website is WordPress. And there's a reason, because every new technology comes out for WordPress and you can switch the old technology in minutes. So it's a modular system that can grow. And if you set it up correctly, it's extremely fast and it's secure. So there's nothing to lose there. Basically, what I'm looking out for is the system quickly replaceable? Is it modular? What software do I really use? Like, there's this program which I set the mouse up with that I have all these functions. So, for example, I'm switching programs by clicking on the mouse button. On a Mac, you have this expose function where you see everything and then you look. This one, right? So that's taking time and mental energy, which I don't have for that kind of purpose. Otherwise, I'm actually not using that much. We have our own tools now because everything else was not made for our purpose. We build our own.
Wow. So we spoke about how AI can automate a lot, but where do you think the human touch is still irreplaceable in business?
The one who's paying
The
for
leader.
your product and consume it. I'm, I'm
Yeah.
not sure if, I guess, a CEO. I mean, when we see now that, like, software development, AI is getting way better in that, like automated software development. I've seen apps that you just give it a goal and it creates like the perfect code, and it doesn't stop because it has the perfect code. If you set up AI correctly, I've seen apps that already do quite a good job in sales, in HR.
Sales as well.
The thing with sales is you have to know your customer, and the AI can know your customer way better than you would ever. Yeah, right. So sales is going to be one of the first things actually that is going to be replaced by AI.
Wow, I didn't think of
But
that.
at least that's the prediction, right?
Wow, because like you
Yeah.
still need the human touch, but I guess if they create a robotic voice and that can talk, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
What is more likely to create a sale? Something that sounds like a human, or something that knows the deepest insight of customers' mind?
And the objectives already there, already in place without having to even think.
You can sound as human as you want to. If I would have told you that our system is good for people having bakeries, you wouldn't be as triggered as if I would tell you can take your podcast transcript and put. And in the AI can do this like so much better because it'll probably know thousands of details from you, and can categorize you and so on.
Wow. There's probably a tool for that already because you
Mm.
can already create a human version of yourself in video form. And
Mhm.
then if you get that and then you have all the objections of what you're trying to sell ready to go and use that
Mhm.
AI, oh my gosh, that's
Mhm.
so powerful. Imagine that. But,
Mhm.
usually they rely on salespeople to bring in the cash flow for the business
Yet,
as well. So
or
I never
think
thought of
about.
that. So I thought salespeople wouldn't, because they're always needed. You know what I mean? I thought, yeah, that role won't be taken by AI. But now that I think about it, I never thought that, yeah, they could do a
Just
better job.
think about this. You have a software, you have some standard plan from some software, and then you have an issue and you go to the support. And the support is AI, and the support is there, and it can actually, help you extremely fast. But it's also a salesperson, right?
Mm.
Because if you talk to support now, you have to decide: do I want to buy a product, or do I have a technical question? And now everything is connected. The AI will tell you this is your problem, this is how you can fix it. But if you go on that plan, it'll be 10 times better. Yeah.
Wow, it's incredible. I didn't even think about that because people fear AI, but if you can leverage it, because I'm just thinking, when AI gets so advanced that lots of people are going to lose their jobs. We've already been talking about it. Elon Musk even spoke about the universal basic income because there's going to be no work. And so everyone's just going to have to be paid a basic income from the government. Gosh, that's a scary world we're living in too. Imagine this. So it's 2030 and we're walking into an office. What does that look like in your mind with AI being, well, everywhere now?
2030 is at least 2 years after what I don't think that I can predict anything beyond 2028. I know that in 2026, Tesla is going to mass produce robots, and they are world class, world champion in mass manufacturing complex objects. So that's going to happen in 2 years. And their plan is that their robots will be able to do some job, probably factory job first, where they don't even need a human to explain the job. They can just look at a tablet, right? And just see how somebody is doing the job on a video and then do the job. That's their official goal of what humanoid robots should be able to do within the next 2 years. And then, mass production comes into play. I can't really say how this is going to happen in 2030. Let's just look back because people think it's scary. But the thing is, when you look around, everything you see is done by machines. All the goods, all the houses, our cars, everything we have, we only have because we found a method to produce it cheaper in a factory. And that's why we have like all our wealth, right? So we are already living in a world where almost just think about how much calculation you would need to do by hand to, what computers do today. The amount of work machines are doing for us is already 99% something. I'm not too sure if it's actually going to be, bad. There's a lot of upside when it comes to AI, and universal basic income will come. We have some really good ideas on how to do it in a way that it actually benefits humanity and not makes us all fat and lazy.
Because there's been some tests already around the world. People are doing it as a test already. So it's crazy. Elon Musk is a pure genius as well. How do we take advantage of this? How do we leverage it? Because now that you've mentioned about Elon Musk doing the robots, we should be investing in these things and we should take advantage of that. And I never thought of this sales AI solution too, but if I could automate that, you could do that for so much as a service. That's super efficient for business as well. I mean, time-wise, I could get more done because I'm doing coaching. I'm just starting. And then it's just so time-consuming having to reach out to people manually and whatnot. But then if I had an AI that could do this and just be me, a version of me, which is like already, there's this next gen, which has a video version of me. You can just let the customer know. I've seen people leverage AI in powerful ways that can make them more wealthier as well. Because there was a girl that one of my other episodes, I talked about an article where a girl cloned herself basically, and she just made herself like a girlfriend and charging by like seconds or minutes or something like that. So how can we take advantage of this? First of all, gosh, Tesla, and that would be something a great company to invest in. I don't know if it's Tesla. Is it the robotic factory? Would that be so? Because he's got the Boring Company, SpaceX. Which company is creating the robots?
Tesla.
Oh, there you go. I'll be investing in that now that I know. But what other ways can we take advantage of this to benefit ourselves and our community and in entrepreneurship?
Usually, I'm a strong advocate for stopping uncontrolled AI progress. Because look, the tool we created, you can create a blog article in 10 seconds where you would need 4 hours with ChatGPT. So that means that one employee whose only job is creating articles could do the same amount of work as 1,000 trained employees on ChatGPT. Having more developments, we're doing this with blog articles, but the concept here is a one-click solution, which eliminates an entire process. For example, for you as a coach, so you're thinking about automated sales outreach and so on. And I was always thinking about the same way, like having some bot running on LinkedIn, messaging people that don't want to know about you. But the thing is, if you have 1,000 articles, let's say, covering your entire topic on your website, first of all, this is like you covered your topic in maximum detail. This is already quite good for search engines, but you're also showing up expertise like crazy. Then you will see also. So this is the big automation, is the content on your website where you can then see over which article people are coming in. Because that's the topic that interests people, right? So you can have all this traffic coming in and all the analytics going, and you can see where you need to focus your coaching on. Look, a website like that would have cost millions in the past. So that's something where you can leverage. But recently I have some reasons where I say, okay, this could be something where we should why we should develop AI further. And that is, just think about that. You know Lego, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lego is a set of parts which you can use to build almost anything. Once we are at the stage where AI can do that, we should have an AI that is summarizing and reconstructing the whole global engineering, everything we do, all the machines we build and everything, to come up with a part set that can be produced in one factory so that you can build almost anything to, develop civilization on Mars, on the moon, which is going to come, by the way, in the next decades. So the AI you would need a tremendous amount of compute for that to look at all our engineering and come up with something where we can build civilization on Mars just with Lego bricks. That'd
Wow.
be something cool.
That would
Then you
be.
need 10 factories on Mars. It's exactly the same factory, but in 10 sizes. So you can build all the parts in 10 sizes, and that's it, and let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, scaling it to another level. Gosh, thinking
Yeah.
bigger and bigger and bigger. I like that macro thinking. Gosh. But there are dilemmas as well with AI. People can be using it for good and bad. And I had a video on my Instagram that just keeps on going viral because it was talking about a deep fake. And my guest was talking about an article that he read, and he was talking about how the CFO, it was a bot basically, and he managed to get millions out of the company. I don't know. It was just crazy. But basically, he's just using AI technology in a bad way to get millions. So that's a bit of a dilemma as well. What do you see are the most pressing ethical dilemmas that businesses will face, and how should they prepare?
I always get asked this question, like, isn't it just a copy of somebody else's work when we're doing content? And, our tool is designed in a way, when you're at a red stoplight and you have a content idea, you can just type in the headline, press create, and when you come to office, the article is ready in draft for you to publish. So it's like, it's your idea. The system is doing the typing kind of thing. When it comes to deepfakes and so on, that's like, there's with every new technology we build, we create new problems. This is like why I'm advocating for stopping development, and I'm not saying that we should totally stop, but consider very well what are the next steps up. Deepfakes and so on, I don't know how to handle this in the future. I think in a couple of years' time, I don't think that you can trust anything digital.
I think so. Yeah, you've got to question it.
I don't have a solution there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have to, because it was just transferring money, but saying it via Zoom call. And I think you shouldn't make any decisions off like remotely or via Zoom. You got to do it in person. And people now are more skeptical of what they see online as well. Even I am. If I can detect an AI deepfake straight away when it comes to an ad, for example, that it's trying to scam and do crypto. I can easily detect that. But in the future, it's going to be harder to detect as well.
Sure.
So it's just advancing so fast, and not everyone's ready for that. So how do you think we should gear up for this as a society? How do you think we should gear up for these kind of different advances without everyone panicking? Is it more educational? I think online it's just happening so fast now, and people are talking about it more. But what are the steps do you think we should do to prepare for this crazy advance?
Stop unlimited development. My mom's a teacher, primary school. Since GPT-4o is out, you can basically have your phone and watching what you're doing and explaining where you're wrong. So our education system is globally, if it's not using that now, it's old, it's outdated, right? Because this is a personal teacher. Every student could get personal advice from ChatGPT, what they are doing wrong in this math calculation, for example, right? So with this next step, with this one new model from OpenAI, our current way of educating students is outdated. When will you see this being implemented in our education system in decades. Our systems are too slow to keep up with the change even before AI. Even just software as a service was moving the world way faster than our systems could handle it. Now everything is getting a new level of speed. So I would suggest that the most important step would be slowing down. Not sure if you can, but I guess limited computers already slowing things down, which is good. Preparing. So I guess, let's say you're a content writer. You could be very scared about what ModernIQ solution does there. Think about it another way. So you used to take 20 hours to create one high quality content piece. And the worth of this content piece was not you pressing plastic buttons. It was your expertise, it was your writing style, and so on, right? But it wasn't the physical pressing a button. With ChatGPT, you can do the same in 4 hours, and with our system in 1 minute. So 1 minute means you could theoretically, and you as a coach, this is a good example as well, because as a coach, you're always extremely busy. You can learn for 19 hours, create new knowledge, new content ideas, new topics to publish. And then you publish 50 content pieces in the same quality. You're at your 20 hours. You have gained a lot of expertise. You have showed a lot of expertise to the world. You have improved your value for your customers. That's one way how I would say, look at the advancements coming. If you're scared, then you miss out on the opportunity. Look for the opportunity.
Yeah, I can understand the people that are scared, their perspective as well, because
Sure.
my son, he wants to do artwork and he wants to draw and make money online. And I'm like, there's going to be AI, and he doesn't understand. There's just going to be AI for everything, video creation, content creation. It's just crazy. And you can either leverage it, and I tell him you can leverage it, or you can be scared of it. So I think every person who's using these methods online, you could just leverage it and be more productive as well. But it is scary. They fear it, or they just take that opportunity. So it's a fascinating world that we're living in now. What excites you about the future?
So my partner is a structural biology scientist. Just the last advancements in some Google software, which they are using to... Did you heard about CRISPR?
Somebody mentioned it to me earlier. Another guess.
So CRISPR is a tool that cuts genes, makes corrections and so on. And that's been out for more than a decade. And science, like everyone is using it everywhere. And it's like the tool to fix things. What you needed still was what to use it on, right? When you cut here in the genome, what are going to be the effects of it? And now Google, I think it's a Google software, AlphaFold. AlphaFold free new version coming out, and it's like way more precise in predicting. So what that means is you can now create gene therapies that are working within, days, where it used to take decades. So what we're looking then at is health, longevity, like crazy. I mean, if you ask me, I would say if you're living healthy today, life expectancy should be around 150 years. That's what I think is actually the current reality. And this is going to improve like crazy in the next 10 years. Where we're wrong at is we think our development goes like this while it actually already goes like that. So especially in health issues, because it's just such an important topic. And I think we are already in the stage where the average global life expectancy grows faster than we get old.
Do you think, what is it, just changing the genes and help detecting all the deficiencies in genes and manipulating things to make it more healthy?
To get 500 years old and still feel fit and don't have, much health issues, there's going to be a lot of problems along the way. But I'm just saying the progress is extremely fast. And I mean, this one version of AlphaFold is probably increasing things by, I don't know, maybe even an order of magnitude in speed. And I mean, the next version of AlphaFold is not 10 years away. So, so yeah.
Wow, all these exciting, crazy developments that I had never even thought about it. This has been a fascinating conversation. Is there a key message that you want to leave our audience with?
As I said, if you block once a month, Google is going to recognize there's something happening with your company, and blocking once a month is free at moderniqs.com. So, and it's taking seconds. So it's kind of a no-brainer. If you have a website and you don't blog, use our tool once a month. It takes a minute. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll definitely be using that tool. Finally, where can people find you if they want to connect with you and learn more about what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Stefan Fahr. That's Stefan with an F. And Fehr is my last name, Fehr. I'm like basically everywhere. Most active currently on LinkedIn and on X. ModernIQs.com is the website.
Thank you. Guys, if you found these valuable, please do me a favor. Comment what your thoughts are, how you feel about the technologies, how can it improve your life. Share this episode with someone that you'll find fascinating. And if you can, do me a favor and hit that follow button on the podcast channel and hit the like and subscribe. Thank you so much for your time, Stefan. It's been very insightful.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.